I'm Kelly Hendricks. I'm on the advisory board of the Mortgage Women Leadership Council and managing editor of Mortgage Women magazine. You know, when a couple of us were talking about women in leadership and women in the industry, there's a lot of great organizations out there, whether it's MBA or a whole host of other organizations, but very few of these organizations really focus on women leadership and the struggles that women face, an outlet to be able to discuss those in a meaningful way that can create change. So we got together and decided that this was a platform that could help women, both in executive suite level and for those new coming into the business to have a pathway to achieve success as a woman in the mortgage business. A lot of what I'm seeing in my role in the mortgage business and working with the Leadership Council is we still struggle as women to uplift and support other women, right? So there's still this protective nature about I worked hard to get here and I'm going to hold on to it. And, what we're working to change is the perception of women being able to pull those younger generations along and teach them and mentor them, so that they're ready for those positions once it's time for us to retire or move on to something else. So to help with that, we really put a lot of effort and energy into launching our mentorship program with the Mortgage Women Leadership Council. We just kicked off in January. It's a 6-month program. Our plan is to, expand this to around 2 and around 3, but it's a great way for those of us with lots of experience to really foster and help those women who are not at that C-suite level yet, but have aspirations to do so, to give them tools and techniques of bettering themselves, being better communicators, and really just extending the hand so that we can help them on their journey instead of hindering their journey, which unfortunately is the way that it's been for a long time. And as long as we can continue to do that, we're going to see more women in these leadership roles. So when an experienced woman does retire, the pool of candidates looks much more like what the labor force looks like, right? So we have as many women applying for these top positions as we do men. It was a great day. The New England women in mortgage banking it was inspirational. I go to a lot of conferences, and there's a lot of conferences where it's mixed, but mainly male participants. And to see a full day of women on stage who are talented, well-spoken, and want to educate and help younger women in the business, you see a lot of the head nodding and the aha moments where it's like, I struggled with this early in my career and this is how I overcame it. And watching the audience really engage and relate to those topics was amazing. And, just being there to help each other. And then taking it a step further, watching these women after the conference exchange contact information, talk about ways that they could continue to help each other, just really excites me on where we're going in this industry. I think these are the stepping stones, right? We get the women to come together in a conference setting, and then what do we do to continue that throughout the year? Because a lot of times, as women in the workforce and with families at home, and it's not easy to travel to 10 or 15 conferences a year to continue to give that inspiration and encouragement. So that's where the Leadership Council comes in, where we're creating webinars and group, knowledge sharing, whether it's on LinkedIn marketing groups or with webinars that we're doing to bring the women together throughout the year so that if they can only come once or twice to an event like this, they're still feeling that inspiration and energy in our working groups that we're, like I said, mentoring. We're doing a session on breaking barriers to help women learn the things that get in our own way by our self-creation. So what can we do to change those things so that we can exceed and excel faster in our careers? It's tough because I think as women, we really feel like we have to always have it together, right? We don't want to be too emotional. We don't want to be too assertive. We don't want to look like we're, trying too hard. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're presenting our best self by joining these groups and participating in these events. It really helps shape good habits and work on those habits that it's hard to talk about, right? I'm an extremely stubborn person. I know that. And by attending these conferences and being a part of the council, I learn ways to communicate better and to be a little bit more open-minded and use my talents in a way that's most effective for my team. Knowledge is power. And I will say, yes, some people fall into positions. Some people know people and they end up having an opportunity, but there's no substitute for being good at your job. So diversify your knowledge, especially in the mortgage business. Maybe you're coming as a processor. learn about closing, learn about doing disclosures, learn about underwriting so that you have a well-versed, rounded knowledge of the industry. And knowledge is power. And when companies are looking at promoting from within or hiring outside of their own companies, if you can show that overall knowledge that you're self-starter, you're motivated, and you possess those skills that are necessary to make good decisions and making decisions quickly, the sky's the limit. I think that over the next few years, as long as we can continue to promote women and have these platforms like the Mortgage Women Leadership Council and Mortgage Women Magazine, it's going to put us in the forefront, right? Our male counterparts are starting to embrace this, right? They're understanding that we're not in competition with them, but how well we work in concert together. And having women in leadership, especially in the mortgage business, it diversifies their ideas and their thoughts and their ability to look outside of that. We've always done it this way, so this is how we're going to keep on going. It's just going to keep growing. Just don't be afraid. Use your voice, just like everything in life. We have to work a little harder, work a little longer. But if you can find the time to work on yourself and be a part of organizations, whether it be Mortgage Women Leadership Council or other great organizations in the mortgage business, take the chance on stepping up to a committee, taking a leadership role, and, doing that outside of your 9-to-5 job or, who has 9-to-5 as mortgage business, but, finding those ways to step into leadership outside of your primary job roles will give you that confidence. So when that opportunity comes up in your professional life, you're prepared and you're ready to go.
For more on these and all of today's top stories, go to nationalmortgageprofessional.com.